The Code of Federal Regulations for Least Restrictive Environment is at 34 CFR, Section 300.114, LRE requirements. Part A just states, in general, least restrictive environment should be used. State must have policies and procedures in place, except for children who are in prison. And that makes sense because you really can't have children in prison with children who aren't in prison. Section 2 is really the meat of the federal regulation, and it talks about to the maximum extent appropriate, children with disabilities, including children in public or private institutions or other care facilities, are educated with children who are non-disabled. A key word here is appropriate. You want the setting to be appropriate. You don't want your child in a regular classroom setting where they can't learn. So keep that in mind when you're deciding least restrictive environment. The definition continues on to talk about special classes and separate schooling, where children with disabilities are removed from a regular educational environment. And that only occurs if the severity of the disability is such that education in regular classrooms with the use of supplementary aids and services, and we'll talk about supplementary aids and services, that your child cannot satisfactorily achieve their goals in that setting. And that is the gist of least restrictive environment. They should be in a regular classroom as much as appropriate. They shouldn't be separated from other children. If there is some aids or services that could help them help them be in the regular classroom. This section B is simply funding mechanisms for the state. You can take a look at it if you want, but it really has no effect upon your child other than the funding mechanism for the state. Finally, I've included a definition of supplementary aids and services in this least restrictive environment section, and for good reason. Supplementary aids and services are used to provide support in the regular classroom so that your child can be educated in a regular setting, be involved in extracurricular and non-academic settings with children who don't have disabilities to the maximum, and maximum is key here, extent appropriate. So let's say that your child in the regular classroom can't learn because he has a behavior problem. Well, perhaps a behavior plan or an aid could assist him so that he can learn in that environment. Then one should be provided so that he can access the regular classroom. The difference between supplementary aids and services, I don't want to go too far into this, but supplementary aids and services are to help keep your child in the regular classroom. Related services are provided to assist your child in learning and any other needs that they may have to access their education. And that is least restrictive environment.